to another edition of the WIU Football Coaches Show. Alongside the head coach of the Western Illinois football team, Bob Nielsen, I'm Danny Fry. The Fighting Leathernecks try to move into first place in the Missouri Valley Football Conference on Saturday, competing with number 3 Illinois State, but fell by a score of 48-28. This game was a lot closer than the final score indicated. Why was ISU able to come away with a victory after really a hard-fought 3.5 quarters?
Well, they made big plays late in the game, and one of the things going into the game we talked about was minimizing and limiting the number of big plays that they made, and they gave a couple of big pass plays which resulted in easy scores that allowed them to separate the game late.
Now let's take a look at the first half highlights in a very evenly matched contest. Pretty good Leatherneck contingent on. The first time the Leathernecks and Redbirds have met, with them both being ranked since 1999. Second play from scrimmage for Illinois State. Indiana transfer Trey Roberson with a juke, and then off to the races. 7-0 Redbirds. 13:27 left in the first quarter, and it's hard to stop him when he has open space.
We didn't tackle with leverage very well, and this was an example of that. Obviously, he's got a chance to make a big play, but we should have had a tackle there for about a 20-yard gain, and he did the rest, and we had too many of those kinds of plays on the day. Yeah,
it's a play that Brett Taylor 9 times out of 10 makes. And then Western, though, on their next drive, they would turn to the air to try and answer, and they'd go and they'd dump it off over the middle to Joey Borsellino and just moving the chains. Trenton Norvell just mixing up targets down the field, and then later in the drive he's going to find his number 1, Lance Lenore, and a good on-target throw as he threads the needle, Coach.
Yeah, I thought first half these drives he did a good job of distributing the football, stood in under pressure, and delivered it the way that we have to move the football.
7:39 left in the first quarter. 5-yard touchdown pass in the back of the end zone to Lenore. He got both feet down. They had to take a replay at it to get a better look, but good presence of mind to get not just one, but both feet down, Coach.
Lance is really good with his feet. He just has that feel with where that out-of-bounds line is, and perfect example of him doing that on that play.
Really got a feel that this was going to be back and forth pretty early, with the score tied at 7. Trey Roberson following his lead blockers for a 9-yard touchdown run. Ball popped loose at the end, but it is ruled a touchdown after further review, and pretty good blocking up front by the Redbirds.
Well, good blocking, and also a situation where we miss a fit in the running game, and that became a common theme on the day a couple of times in which we allowed him to get big plays.
Then the Redbirds back with the ball, but Trey Roberson picked off by Aaron Diggs, and second straight game of interception for Diggs.
Yeah, good pressure on the quarterback here, forced him to kind of short arm the throw, and Diggs in a good spot on a route that was one of their favorites to make the play.
WIU then off of that, they're trying on a 99-yard drive, go for the big play down the sideline. Lance Lenore is wrapped up, and that is a pass interference leading to this 1-yard touchdown run by Nico Watson with 7:42 left in the second quarter. Good job extending his arm over for the touchdown.
Yeah, Nico's a back that on 1-yard plays, he's going to find a way to get the ball into the end zone.
Score tied at 14, but then Roberson and the Redbirds would answer. 41-yard strike over the middle to Anthony Warham. ISU up 21-14, and he was able to break away from the secondary.
Yeah, 2 times we had similar miscue in coverage, allowed him to run by us there. Corner thought he had inside help and really didn't have inside help, and as a result, ISU makes a big play touchdown.
WIU not done yet, though, in the half. 2:36 left. 24-yard touchdown connection to Stacy Smith. Stops and scores, and pretty good concentration by him when his defender slipped.
Yeah, caught him in man-to-man coverage. We liked the matchups with our slot receivers on their safeties when we could do that. Trent stood in again under pressure and delivered the ball in a spot that gave our receiver a chance to make a play on it.
ISU trying to score again before the half ends, but Roberson is wrapped up by Kalen Saunders and company. And Coach, that was pretty important for some momentum at the half to keep the score tied at 21.
Yeah, big. Even though it's been a back and forth game, I thought we'd been outplayed a little bit, and to go into halftime even on the scoreboard was a good momentum boost for us.
Talk about that seesaw battle that the Leathernecks have had a lot this year. Is the team comfortable with that back and forth type of pace?
Well, our team is used to responding, and that's one of the things that you want your team to be able to do is when you give up a score is to come right back and respond. And we did that, very well in the first half against a very, very talented team.
Why were the Leathernecks able to really move the ball so well in the first half, you think?
There are two reasons. Number one, we protected the quarterback and gave Trent a chance to deliver the football. And the other thing is our running game was good enough that it opened up some opportunities in the play action pass game.
Now, how did you, just playing UNI coming up with that victory, then playing another ranked team like ISU, kind of how did the two teams kind of compare and contrast?
Well, they're totally different types of teams. With the firepower that ISU has on offense right now at the quarterback position and the running back position, they're a more explosive type of offense. UNI more of a ball control type of offense, and that's why going in, limiting the explosive plays was going to be a critical thing for us.
All right, stay tuned for the second half highlights. They're on the way next. You're watching the WIU Football Coaches Show, your home for fighting Leatherneck football.
Western Illinois University allows you to think for yourself and to discover the freedom to become your own.
Own it at Western. Build your own expectations and fill your own shoes.
Explore an academic culture that adapts to you.
Create yourself and inspire originality in an open and safe environment.
Western Illinois University lets you make your own success story.
Think purple.
Think success.
Think Western Illinois University.
I'm Matt Tanney, Western Illinois University Interim Director of Athletics. Please stay connected with us by following Western Illinois Athletics on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You will have access to exclusive stories and updates while receiving the latest details on special giveaways. For additional information on our 20 Division I programs, visit goleathernecks.com.
And remember, there's only one Leatherneck Athletics.
Welcome back to the WIU Football Coaches Show. I'm Danny Fry alongside Leatherneck head football coach Bob Nielsen. The game at half was tied, and that meant a clean slate in the third quarter. What adjustments were made?
Not a lot of adjustments. I think our game plan was good. We had not executed quite as well as we felt we were capable of executing, and that's really what we talked about more than anything. We had to tackle better, make sure that we attacked our run fits on defense, and offensively had to continue to be balanced.
Now look at the second half highlights from Hancock Stadium in Normal. And it would be tied 21-21 at halftime. Redbirds get the ball to start the second half, but Western would be ready to score first. Play action and a bomb to Lenore, a home run play to start the second half, Coach.
Yeah, double move. We had run a similar play, several times in the first half without the double move variation, and Lance really good at getting his foot stuck in the ground and getting himself open.
Then the Leathernecks would go and try and score with a draw play to Devin Moore, wide open space, 10-yard touchdown run caps off an 81-yard drive. Team's been better putting together those long drives and finishing them this year.
Yeah, and this play, again, we caught him in a blitz. We're able to split the pressure, and I thought it was Demo's best game of the year and gave us some real hard running, which we need to be able to count on as we move forward.
Yeah, a mix between him and Watson seemed to really work on Saturday. Next drive for Illinois State, and they'll tie it up. Another long touchdown pass to Warham, 6:48 left in the third quarter. And you talked about it a little earlier, but why was he so difficult to cover?
We didn't execute very well. He's a good receiver, but when you blow coverages and let him get behind you, it's pretty easy for them to make plays, and that's one of the themes on the day is we made it too easy for them to move the football.
Sweep with Copperidge, and he'll go and score, jump on in there from 19 yards away, 35-28 Illinois State, and it was kind of well executed read option they did all day.
Yeah, and you have to account for the quarterback. Unfortunately, we missed a front side fit and should have had a guy at the point of attack to make the play and didn't.
And then they'll throw it to Warham. He has space again as the Redbirds really controlling the ball in the second half, now in the fourth quarter. And Roberson and Warham were pretty much connected really the whole game. And then this is a weird play, another sweet play to Coppridge, fumbles, but picked up in the end zone by guess who? Warham. And what was your kind of take on the play, Coach?
Well, right place, right time. The ball is out before he crosses the end zone, and could have easily been a 99-yard fumble return for us, but falls into their guys' hand and ends up being a touchdown.
Yeah, extra point no good, 41-28 ISU midway through the fourth. Western needing to score. Borsellino got the pass interference before they go back to him. And this is a big play on fourth down. Throw over the middle ruled incomplete to Borsellino. Turnover on downs. Now that you had a chance to look at it again, what'd you think?
I thought he was in. I thought it was a catch. Thought it should have been ruled a catch. Replay obviously didn't think so. And I think it's one of those plays that whatever was ruled on the field, it was probably going to stand by replay, and unfortunately was ruled not a catch.
Yeah, not enough information to overturn it. And ensuing Redbird drive, big lane for Coppridge, 83-yard touchdown run, and saw that play develop, and it kind of sucked the wind out of the Leathernecks' sails.
Yeah, and we're at a run-stop defense, needing to get the ball back, and he cracked a fit, and as a result, it went the distance.
Towards the end of the game, pass picked off by Dallas Nichols. He would fumble, but WRU picks it back up. So a good heads-up play. They're really never giving up at the end of the game.
Yeah, our guys kept battling. They were in a point where they could run the football out. Thought it was kind of odd that they decided to throw a pass, and our guys capitalized on it and forced a turnover.
And the final score would be Illinois State 48, Western Illinois 28. Time to take a look at the final box score in this one. Trey Roberson through the air, 8 of 14, 211 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, but really dazzled on the ground as well. Coppridge, hate to say it was a quiet 206 yards, but he had a couple big rushing plays at the end. 29 carries, 206 yards, 2 touchdowns. Norvell still put up over 300 yards, no interception in this one. Lance Lenore becoming Western Illinois' all-time receptions leader. He hauled in 11 receptions in this one, 131 yards, and a touchdown with that final box score. And Coach, we talked about Trey Roberson there in the graphic. Really, why has he been so effective?
He's a true dual threat quarterback. There's no quarterback in our league that's as dangerous running the football, and even though he didn't throw the ball a lot, he threw the ball very effectively on Saturday. The 4 big plays that they had in the passing game were the plays that really made the difference in the game, I felt.
Another person we talked about on the graphic was Lance Lenore, and a lot of great receivers coming and playing football at WIU. What does it mean for him to set that receptions record?
Means he's a good player. There's been a lot of really good receivers that have come through here. He's a guy that's important to our offense and has been important to our offense since he came as a true freshman. And I think when guys have individual awards like that, it is a bit of a testament to the things that you're doing as a team offensively, and certainly the quarterback and our offensive linemen that have been a part of the passing game are the reasons why he's got the receptions that he does.
Do you feel that towards the end, the defense maybe is a little worn out there, especially when they kept having to go back on the field?
Well, I don't think so, really. If you look at it, we were only on the field for 59 plays defensively, and that's far less than what you usually are. Again, the difference was big plays. You can't give up the big chunks of yards that we did on Saturday and expect to win in our league. You've got to make teams work for their scores better than what we did.
Those big plays lead to momentum. How big was momentum in this game?
I think that was the big thing. And we battle our way to the lead, give up a big play. It's a huge momentum swing. Then we don't get a first down. They hit another big play that sets up a score, and I think it shook our confidence a little bit. We're a very young defensive football team in the back 7, and we just have to learn from that and realize that, hey, just because we give up one big play, that can't shake our confidence to continue playing at a high level.
More on the way next. You're dialed in to the WIU Football Coaches Show.
Founded in 1985, The Missouri Valley Football Conference has established a tradition of FCS football excellence. Competing at the highest level at NCAA Division I, student athletes at its 10 institutions demonstrate character, passion, and integrity as they grow as a student, an athlete, and a citizen. The Missouri Valley Football Conference, where leaders are shaped and champions are forged.
I always knew I would be a leatherneck. Western was the only university I applied to. The educational opportunities at Western provided me experiences and lessons in leadership and service. The faculty and staff at Western genuinely care about the students, and I know that choosing WIU is key to the beginning of my success story. Think purple, think success, think Western Illinois University.
Welcome back to the WIU Football Coaches Show. I'm your host, Danny Fry. Sometimes things can change once you get to college. The same can be said of positions in football. Multiple WIU players have switched positions and even sides of the field. Cody Snodgrass has more.
I plan on playing quarterback. There was no doubt in my mind. It was a lot of other schools that were looking for me as an athlete, but I had it set that I wanted to play quarterback, and that was the reason why I came to Western Illinois.
My entire life, since I started playing football, I've always been on the offensive side of the ball. So, it's been very unique, and very interesting, to see the game from a different perspective. And I feel like I'm extremely fortunate, to have the opportunity to play the game from both sides. But it's been fun, and I've definitely enjoyed it. And it's something that I wish a decision I wish I would have made almost even sooner.
There's a lot of work that goes into changing positions, most being mental.
It's a less responsibility, which is nice. You kind of just have to worry about yourself and not worry about 11 other guys you have to take care of. So it's definitely an easy transition. Giving somebody else the power for once, that was the biggest adjustment for me. Kind of having to take a step back and not be as vocal and stuff like that.
The biggest thing I'd probably say is preparation. There's a lot more that goes into preparing, scheming out the offense and knowing the personnels on the defensive team that just aren't really there with the offense.
Luckily for Hammonds, this is not the first time he has had to make a transition like this.
It was very hard for me at the beginning to adjust to a new system, and at Ohio we ran a very similar no-huddle offense. So things were very similar, but there were minor differences, that made things a little bit more difficult for me to pick up, but in the end, the coaching staff and a lot of the people here at Western made the transition pretty easy for me. So.
Now at receiver, Williams has certain goals for himself and his team.
Pretty high goals. I wanted to contribute. I'm all about winning, of course. That's my number one goal. As far as personal goals, I really had a personal goal of simply just contributing. That's what all I'm about. And so contributing and making sure we get some wins this year. Whether it's blocking, catching passes, catching touchdowns, anything I have to do to help this team win. That's what I was about.
For the WIU Coaches Show, I'm Cody Snodgrass.
Thanks, Cody. And Coach, how hard of an adjustment is it to switch a position? You've been playing pretty much all throughout high school.
Well, I think it depends on the switch. Moving from offense to defense, you have to relearn the entire scheme. Changing within the same side of the ball sometimes a little bit easier. And one of the things when you do as a coach is you try to always strengthen the depth of your football team by getting your best talent in places where they can best benefit the football team. And I think our position moves this year and the ones that we've made in the previous years have certainly done that.
We looked at our footage in the story, not on Hanson Field. It was inside Brophy Hall. And how much of a setback is it, or if it's a setback at all, to have to move a practice indoors?
It's only a setback if you let it become a setback. Weather wasn't great yesterday. We probably could have gone out and got some things in. It would have been pretty miserable practicing. Tuesdays are a day with a lot of introduction and having the opportunity to have full concentration and not have to worry about the weather, I think was good. We would have liked to have done a little bit more, but we'll get outside here the rest of the week and be able to do the things that we would have done on Tuesday outside that we needed the full field and the outdoor environment for.
Let's take our last break of the show, but stay tuned. As up next, Coach and I will preview this weekend's Halloween showdown between the Leathernecks and Youngstown State.
I chose Western because it reminded me of home and for its outstanding forensic chemistry program. My classes and academic experiences give me the knowledge I'll need for my career. The programs at Western teach me to lead and contribute to my community. I know my choice is the beginning of my success story. Think purple, think success, think Western Illinois University.
Western Illinois University allows you to think for yourself and to discover the freedom to become your own.
Own it at Western. Build your own expectations and fill your own shoes.
Explore an academic culture that adapts to you.
Create yourself and inspire originality in an open and safe environment.
Western Illinois University lets you make your own success story.
Think purple.
Think success.
Think Western Illinois University.
Welcome back to the WIU Football Coaches Show. It's time to check in on how the Missouri Valley teams performed last weekend. North Dakota State going to Terre Haute and dispatching the Sycamores 28-14. South Dakota, they're rolling over Missouri State 40-10. UNI taking on a pretty good Jackrabbit team and beating them on the road 10-7. And then in overtime, Youngstown State at Southern Illinois. The Salukis get back on track in a 38-31 OT thriller. And now the game's on tap this week in the MVFC. We're all the way to week 9. Indiana State going to Normal to take on Illinois State, the battle of the ISUs. South Dakota looks to keep rolling at Northern Iowa at the always tough Unidome. Southern Illinois maybe looking for another upset against NDSU. And then the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State look to get back on track for the loss last week at Missouri State in Springfield against the Bears. Now talking about Youngstown State. They had a heartbreaker last week and they're coming in at 3-4, lost 3 straight. How do you think they'll be ready to play on Halloween?
Oh, they'll be ready to play. They're a really good football team, a team that could easily be undefeated or 3-1 in the league with the close games that they've had and the games that they've not been able to win. Team with a great defensive personnel, plays a little different scheme than what we're used to, and a team that has balance on offense.
Now the have to ask game is a little added attention because the opposing coach, a big name in college football, Bo Pelini, head coach in Nebraska last year. And what do you know about Coach Pelini and his style of coaching?
Well, they're going to be exceptionally well-coached football team. They're going to be a team that executes well, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He is recognized throughout the coaching community as an outstanding defensive coach, and his team certainly represents that criteria.
Now talk about the offense for Youngstown State. They have a balanced offensive attack, and in the win last year for WIU, 30-24, what worked, and can the same game plan be applied even though we have a little bit adjusted coaching staff?
Yeah, their offensive staff is basically the same as last year. They do a lot of different things that stress you on the perimeter, but really founded their offense in the zone run game, and you've got to stop the run game first. And a quarterback that has had good days throwing the football, so the balance that they have will make them a difficult team to defend.
Now, last year, Lance Lenore went off. Of course, he had the crazy bobbling catch that deflected, and he took it all the way to the end zone. And obviously, like most teams, the Penguins are a key in on them. How do you expect to counter that with a kind of a host of options?
Well, when you look at their defense, I think the two things that you have to do is you have to be able to have balance. They're one of the best pass defense teams in the country. We're going to have to be able to run the football with some effectiveness to see if we can't open up some opportunities to throw the football and use the strength of our team, which is our perimeter people right now. So balance and consistency are going to be the keys.
Talked about the rainy weather earlier in the week, but on Saturday it's going to be likely rainy weather again. How do you think that's going to? Got the turf, so it won't affect the playing surface, but how's that going to throw a wrench in things?
Yeah, the playing surfaces nowadays really minimize the effects that weather have. You're more affected by wind and in terms of weather conditions many times than you are by rain. And the officials do a good job of keeping dry footballs out there. Ball protection becomes a critical thing on wet days and something that we put emphasis on all the time.
It should be a good one on Halloween. Kickoff at Hanson Field between the number 24 Youngstown State Penguins and number 23 Leathernecks is set for 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. For Coach Nielsen, I'm Danny Fry. As always, we appreciate you watching.